Hello everyone, my name is DINESH and I am the team leader of my group where it consists of PUTRI Batrisyia, SYAMIMI and SYED. Today we are going to present our PBL assessment. As for introduction, statistical approach and tools are used to define and quantify quality. Based on the task given, we need to analyze the data of width, length, and height from each three operators from the manufacturing company that produce heavy vehicle parts to concern about its maintaining its product quality and improving their quality control processes. Hence, we need to analyze the pattern and analyze data statistics to propose recommendation to enhance the process and address any quality control issues. As for our objective in our assessment, we need to determine the variance of the production process that affect the quality of the product to consistently deliver product or service that meet or exceed customer expectation. And finally, we need to determine the essential quality or factor that significantly affect the caliber of the produce.
Hi, my name is Batrisyia. In this part of video, I will explain about the working solutions by using Microsoft Excel. To examine the data set for anomalies or outliers that might point to a quality control issue, we have used two types of platforms, which is Microsoft Excel and RStudio programming software. So firstly, we have divided all operators data set with three categories, which is height, width, and length. So there are four types of control charts that we have obtained from the syllabus that we have learned. So firstly, we have X chart, R chart, X chart from S, and lastly S chart. From the Microsoft Excel, as we can see over here, we have calculated the X bar, R, and S value by using the formula that we have learned in chapter 15. And as you guys can see it over here, we have calculated the UCL and LCL for each chart by using the formula that we have learned. And with all the calculations that have been calculated, we can get the four of the charts from the calculations. And as you can see it over here, X chart, R chart, and also S chart are in control because the line lies between the UCL and LCL limits. But X bar chart for S is actually out of control because it lies off the UCL line. And for the width and height also, we have calculated the same working solutions as length category. We have calculated all the X chart, R, and XS chart. So from the chart below over here, we can see that X bar chart and X bar chart from S is actually out of control, and R and S chart is actually in control. For lastly, the height category, the chart shown over here is actually all of the charts here are in control because it lies between UCL and LCL control limit line.
Now we will be talking about the RStudio programming coding. Now we can extract the data from this coding to obtain the data we need to achieve our objective in this assignment. Well, firstly, the coding for plotting the graph is basically all the same for three of the scatter plots, which is the declaration of the variables, forming a formula, and then calling that formula for plotting the graph. As you can see, only the length, height, and width variables are changed. So the coding remains the same, but only the variables change. Now, for the first scatter plot, we can talk about the p-value. The p-value is over 0.114, which is over 0.05, which means that there's no real relationship between the x and y axis, which is the length and height. Now, as you can see, the length versus the width plot, we can look at the p-value, which is still over 0.05, which means that there's no significant relationship between the length and the width. And now finally, for the third scatter plot, we can still deduce the same conclusion, which is that the x and y axis have no real relationship, as you can see, as the p-value is still over 0.05.
As what we have learned after complete the project, we all know that the objective is to detect the anomalies and improve the quality of the product. Since we want to improve the product quality, we must reduce the process and product reliability by performing a waste reduction. The tools that we can use in this project-based learning is statistical process control to achieve stability of the dataset. The major tools that we have chosen were control chart that was used to demonstrate a quality intervention. We also have chosen scatter diagram which used to plan and monitor operation to improve the quality. The control chart was performed on Microsoft Excel while the scatter diagram was from the RStudio software. For the control chart, we were using Microsoft Excel as the platform. As we can see on the head table, it shows that all the charts we obtained were in control. Hence, it was assumed as a stable data with no anomalies and no presence of assignable causes and issues. While for both width and length table, some of the charts were out of control. Therefore, we detected that the data contained the anomalies as we assumed them as unstable data which led to failure in meeting the customer satisfaction and requirement in good quality product. For the scatter diagram, we used the RStudio programming as the platform. Based on all the charts shown, all the p-value are almost the same, which also all the p-value obtained were more than 0.05. Hence, we reject the hypothesis which results in the data of height, width, and length to be insignificant with each other for all relationships.
As conclusion, height characteristic having all the chart were in control, and there are some of the out of control chart that can be found in both length and width section chart. Hence, it is stable in height segment and unstable in both length and width section. As we demonstrated earlier, we are able to meet the client satisfaction and requirement as indicated in the aim. At last, we are able to achieve all our objectives to find the best solution in the problem given. Thank you.